Hello, everyone, and welcome to this first episode of our Community Empowerment Hour. With I have today, it's the retreat speakers speaking all about themselves and about the retreat, as well as the topic for today is perception and how perception, everybody's individual perception can either lead to joy and prosperity and happiness and love, or it can lead to lack and scarcity and further going down the rabbit hole of painful experiences. And so I'm so excited. Today we have Marco and Yogesh, and we have Marie coming on soon. But guys, these are two of our keynote speakers for the Ultimate Quantum Retreat that's taking place May 13th through the 15th out in Tucson, Arizona. Yogesh is joining us all the way from Indonesia. And Marco is from what part of Canada? Remind me again.
Alberta, by the Rockies.
Alberta. Yes. And so we've got people flying in from all over the world to be a part of this incredible event. If you have not signed up, guys, holy frickin' cow, we have made the cost of the ticket more affordable because the world needs a higher vibration of love. And we want as many people to be a part of our retreat, whether it's in person, with all of us, having fun with all of us, or if it's via Zoom, from anywhere around the world. We don't want cost or travel to get in the way of you experiencing this incredible weekend with all of us. So without further ado, Marco, since you're the first person to my right, I'm going to let you start off with the topic of perception and what does that mean to you, and just give us all your insight and wisdom.
Sure. Perception to me is the other side of the coin of how we create our own reality. To me, it's one and the same. Mm-hmm. The world out there, our environment, are what's happening to us at any given time. It's not really happening to us. It is the way we perceive it is happening to us. In my book of it, I make a very simple but common and easy to understand example. You have two car salespeople, two young guys, 25 years old, that work at the same car dealership, and they happen to live in the same building. So they get up at 7 a.m. and they look outside of the window, and one looks outside and he says, "What a beautiful day. Today we're going to sell a lot of cars." The other guy next door looks outside, "What a crappy day today, we ain't gonna have a single customer." Mm-hmm. And sure enough, they perceive it the same day, exact same date, same city, same dealership, their own individual ways. And the interesting thing is that most likely their day is going to go accordingly to their perception. So the one guy goes to work and he sells 10 cars, the other guy doesn't sell a single car. Mm-hmm. So the question we must ask is, why is that? How does it really work? Well, perception and creation is fluid, is not the same for everyone. In other words, at any given time, even during the most extreme of points in history, even unfortunately during wars, there are people that lose everything and it's a total disaster, and there are people that become wealthy and they somehow survive and thrive. And so at any given moment in time in our life, the way we perceive the environment out there is the way we respond to it, hence creating it. I go even a little bit farther than that. I actually reverse the table. To me, if we want to get technical, but we're not going to get technical today, if we want to get technical, we project our reality. We do not perceive it. Mm-hmm. I say in my book, your eyes are not cameras observing the world out there. Your eyes are projectors projecting the world in here out there. But that's a little bit too technical for now. So totally, we must be aware of the way we perceive things, because it's not necessarily the way things are. There's always not two sides to the coin, but many sides to the coin. And the way we react, especially emotionally, is really what we're going to get out there, which reinforces our initial perception in the first place. So we must be very aware and very careful with the way we think we perceive things out there.
Absolutely. That is spot on. And I don't think you were too technical because, you broke it down in a way that but then that's my perception because I speak that language. I understand. So hold on, let me go whoop whoop and go back a little bit because there are others, but like, what the hell is he talking about? Projecting?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I'm gonna shut up because I want Yogesh to share. And then I'm gonna provide a remedial example that I think everybody could certainly understand. But Yogesh, tell us and share your insight and wisdom. There's Marie. Hold on one second, Yogesh. Hey,
Yep.
Marie.
Hey, Marie.
Welcome, girl. How you do? How you do? Women of Light Academy. I love it. Love it, guys. Yes, we have Marie joining us today. And Marie, I've already introduced everyone. Marie is as well going to be a speaker at this incredible quantum retreat out in Arizona, May 13th through the 15th. Again, as I mentioned, we have lowered the price because we want more people to be able to be involved and experience this incredible up-leveling of vibration in the world. And so to that, I was about to I was asking Yogesh to share all of his insight and wisdom around this topic of perception.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. I would like to just add into what Marco said earlier, right? Like he gave that example of two salesmen. When the morning starts, one goes like it's a beautiful day, the other goes it's not such a good day. So, in the earlier years of my life, more in my 20s and 30s, when things would not work out for me, my perception at that time was like everything sucks,
Mm-hmm.
right? Nothing's working out for me. Everything sucks. Everything sucks. But again, you see, later in life, when I transformed from a businessman into a coach, I realized that everything was happening for my good. But my perception switched later in life, where I realized that, is there echo?
Yeah, there is an echo. Somebody might have their phone on this. That needs to be the volume turned down all the way on phones or on extra tabs on the laptop. Okay, I think we're good now. Sorry, Yogesh.
Yeah, so like I was saying, that later my perception changed about what had already gone. And, like Marco said, that was a projection that I was sending out there. But eventually, the projection inward changed and the projection outward became different for me. Now, when I look at everything, every time something doesn't work out for me, it's like I'm just going higher, right? What doesn't serve me anymore is going away, and my vibration is going higher and higher and higher. A good example was we were all part of a platform. Now that platform, as we all know, doesn't exist, but maybe there was a higher purpose. So at that point, my perception was, oh no, I gave so much time here, but I realized that was just taking me to the next level.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what my experience of perception is, that at times we think that no, this is not right, but actually it is right, because it is what we wanted something more, and it's just taking us to the next level. The only thing is we have to realize that, and too many people don't realize that. And what you said right in the beginning of this talk was right. We can spiral down, and many people end up spiraling down. But like people like us who are in the coaching or the light worker field, we just go higher and higher because we
Right.
know that this is what we wanted. It's just we have to see it in a different way. And when I was younger, I couldn't see those things. I could just see like, oh, this doesn't work, that doesn't work, this doesn't, and I would get frustrated. But eventually I realized, thank God that didn't work.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like
Absolutely.
thank God. I used to be living in Dubai. I was 92 kilos back then. I was living a horrible lifestyle, drinking every day, no exercise. I was doing something that had no purpose, and I was miserable.
Mhm.
And I left all of that. I went back to Hong Kong, and I was lost for a couple of years till I found my purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when my perception completely changed of what happened, because I was like, oh my God, imagine I was still there. Maybe I would have had a heart attack and died. I was
Right.
living such an
Right.
unhealthy lifestyle. And I've had friends who were younger to me. They had strokes and they passed on,
Yeah.
you know? So I knew that, oh my God, everything that is happening is just happening for my good. And, we always think it's a destination, but no, it's a journey, right?
100%.
So, yeah, so that's my 2 cents on perception.
Yes.
I think it was valued at 3 cents myself.
It's a journey.
So, Marie, to that, share your insight and wisdom on this topic of perception. I keep saying topic, like I can't talk. Topic of perception. I think there's an echo still, y'all. I can hear myself.
It's not mine
Okay.
Huh.
because
It might be coming from my end. I don't know. I've been having some technical issues this morning. All about perception, right?
Exactly.
Why don't you go ahead, DeMarco? I can try to fix my echo issues.
Well, let me.
just lower your speaker volume a little bit and your mic input a little bit.
And actually, I'm not hearing an echo anymore.
Now it's fixed.
Yes.
There you go, Marie.
Yes, go ahead. The flow is yours.
Oh, I think she should. Oh, there you go.
Oh, so Jeff, we have a comment here. Jeff Purdue Atkins, he says, sounds like someone is listening to the play. Yeah, from like another device or another tab that's open on the laptop or whatever.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
so
So
Marie,
can
are you ready?
Maria hear us? Can you hear us?
Marie, can you hear us? Unmute.
No.
Marie, can you hear us? I don't think she can hear us now.
That's why the echo stopped.
And I can't post. She won't see my comment.
She won't?
These comments go to. They might go to our event light. Yeah, see, it's not even. Okay, yeah, there it goes. Let me see, guys. I apologize, guys. Hey, this is perception. I just laugh. Like, this is our life. This is our life. And it's a matter of just like, we're going to perceive that we're still having a phenomenal conversation. And I'm having tech issues, going to drop off. Sorry. Okay, Marie. She'll come back on at some point on another live,
Yes.
because she definitely has a lot of insight and wisdom. So I guess
Yes.
I'll take this chance and to
Absolutely.
share, one of the biggest things, and I say this quite often because I read this comment years and years and years ago. Whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, either way, you are right. And that is directly related to what we perceive. Now, the remedial example, what does that say? God always says yes. God always says yes.
That's right.
Perceive. Yes. Like, yes, my life sucks. So what happens when you think your life sucks and everything is shitty? You receive more and more and more that reflects, that mirrors back that perception. Okay.
Yes.
So, and I'm not, without getting into a massive debate on who's right and who's wrong, because that is not what my sharing this is about. This is the political comment, the political climate that was created between, let's just say, right and left. Okay, several years ago. All right, you had people on the right saying this, vehemently believing this, and you've had people on the left saying this and vehemently believing this. Okay, but it was almost, not in all cases, but at most cases, a complete dipole opposite. So whether you think and believe in the right or whether you think and believe in the left, what you see in the world around you is going to mirror what you think and feel. You're going to be, yep, see those left people, they're this and they're this and they're this, and the left people are going to go, see those right people on the right, they're thinking this, see. And I, that's why it's very difficult for me. Well, I'm very strongly feel the way I feel, but I'm not one to go, you know what, you're wrong. You are wrong, because I don't have their life. I don't have their mind. I don't have their heart from which their eyes see the world, because what they're seeing tells them they're right. Just like what I'm seeing tells me I'm right.
Exactly.
But whether you think you're this way or whether you think that way, either way, we are all right.
Correct.
And so my thing is, allow yourself to be open, you know, to I perceive this way, but hold on, why does that person perceive that way? Let me understand. Let me maybe think about the feet that are in the shoes that they're walking in. What there is value in every person on this planet. And
Absolutely.
what value can I gain? What could I learn from their perspective or from their life experience, that enriches mine or enables me, again, more access to what is possible?
Yes. And not only that, you're totally correct. What we tend to forget, because we just normally don't think this way, being the creator of your own reality
Mm-hmm.
literally means that you are creating your own life experience. Literally. Think about what you do every morning when you get up.
Mm-hmm.
First thing you do is you turn your phone on and you check how many messages you have, how many likes you have,
Yeah, exactly.
who sent you this, who sent you that.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, in your mind, each one of us in our mind are the main actor of our movie life experience.
100%.
In my life, I am actor number one. But
Mm-hmm.
not only I'm actor number one, but I'm also the director of the movie. And then my wife, my children are my second actors, and then the people out there, street fillers, and just
Mm-hmm.
my movie is populated. It is amazing how our life works much like a natural movie, a natural
Mm-hmm.
simulation. It is. So now we turn the table around to Jogesh. In this case, it's the exact same thing, but the opposite, where he is the main actor in this movie, and I am number 25 down the line. If I make it to 25, that is.
Right. Don't sell yourself short. You might be 24.
You see what I mean? So we must remember that it is our movie. So the interesting thing is when we understand that we are also the director of the movie, not just the actor, and then the outside environment tells us what to do. No, we're actually the director of the movie, and we can change the way the movie goes, the life experience, hence any way we perceive it and any way we steer it.
Mm-hmm.
The obstacle I find when we explain this is that in the physical realm, in this realm here, the most which I even don't like to use the word physical, because it is not physical. The
Mm-hmm.
universe is all spiritual
Mm-hmm.
at all
Energy.
levels.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference is how spiritual is it. In other words, it's not an opposite, spiritual versus physical. It is all spiritual. Then each level has a certain frequency as the
Mm-hmm.
main frequency, and it appears more or less physical, but it is just as spiritual as pure light. Just the speed changes. So if we remember that, what I'm trying to say is that if we remember that everything is spiritual, and the only reason why in this decelerated level things take a little while to respond, it is simply a built-in mechanism. Because if you were accelerated as in any other accelerated planets, and you say, I want a red Mustang, the red
Mm-hmm.
Mustang will drop over your head and kill you. It's really as
Yeah.
simple as that. So there are built-in mechanisms in this level, because it has gravity and has weights and things are heavy, let's be honest, that things don't show up the moment you think of them. In other levels, things manifest much faster because they're weightless, because
Mm-hmm.
it's just an apparition. But here, because we have gravity and a car weighs a ton, before you get the car, this level needs to know that you really want the car, and it makes the car come gradually to you.
Mm-hmm.
Hence why we must always stay the course. Don't say, I want a red Mustang. Tomorrow
Right.
you change your
Because
mind
then
and
you're
you want.
always wanting instead of I have, I'm
That's the other
driving.
thing. But you also must stay the course. You cannot
Mm-hmm.
get anything if you say today I want a red Mustang, tomorrow might be a green Ford, and the next day is a yellow Lamborghini. Well, you ain't
Yeah.
gonna get nothing. You must stay the course, not just with a
Mm-hmm.
car, with everything, your work,
Mm-hmm.
your
Mm-hmm.
relationship, your financial,
Mm-hmm.
everything.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to understand that God always says yes, but you also have to keep in account that in this physical level, things take time before they manifest into tangibility. From framework number 2, what we call framework number 1, this framework here. So everything you want is already there in a spiritual level, but before it comes
Absolutely.
in this side, before it bridges on this side, you must stay the course. And it's like you go to McDonald's and you say, oh, I want this, no, I want that, they change my mind, I know I want that. Well, I say, sir, can you please make up your mind, what do you want to eat today, right? So the same thing. So if we understand that, we have to be clear about what we want. We know that it's going to take some time and effort, and the expectation that the hamburger is coming to you, and
Mm-hmm.
the more you can taste it in your mouth and the more emotion you impart into that tasting that hamburger, the more assured is it that you're going to eat that hamburger very, very soon.
Right. And it's about tying the emotion. It's not about, oh, I want a red Mustang. Well, okay, well, what does having that red Mustang bring to your life? Like, what are the feelings that you are wanting and asking or desiring to
Absolutely.
experience through driving the Mustang? And that's why I love that you use that example, because this is a remedial example, y'all. I mean, it goes so much deeper and
Of
broader. And I
course.
think most people who are on here know that. But like the Secret, the movie The Secret that came
Yeah.
out in 2005 or 4, I believe. I remember the first time I watched that. And, they use these examples. I know there was a lot of backlash and flag. Oh, that's like material things. That's no, it was examples to show you of getting yourself in the feeling of riding the bike, riding the bicycle,
Yes.
not just having it, but riding it, and what that brings to your life. And then have you guys seen What the Bleep Do We Know?
Yes, of course.
Okay, yeah, of course.
Many
Yogesh, it
years
is
ago.
phenomenal. But it takes this quantum reality, the center point from which all things exist, the all infinite in a world of infinite possibilities. Why do we keep creating the same relationships? Why do we keep getting the same jobs? Why do we keep recreating the same bullshit situations in our lives when there's this infinite possibility? We're existing simultaneously. And, someone here, again, talking about perception, can have a shitty day because they wake up going, oh, my life sucks. And this same person, right next door to you has this amazing day because they're like, I'm taking on the world and this is going to be a phenomenal day. And things just fall into place in line with what you're thinking and feeling, your perception. And what the bleep do we know is such you know, a way of explaining and being in that law of attraction, the
Yes.
secret.
Yes.
Highly recommend, guys.
And
So,
out of all the components of the law of attraction, um, and you see, this is my what I really thrive and what I really want to get across when I talk about the law of attraction is that we forget the fact that the law of attraction, we use that every single moment of our life without realizing it. It's by default. It's not something that we must learn or watch movies about it. The movies and books remind us,
tools.
but in a way, it's a double-edged sword, because the moment you try and learn it,
Yeah.
that's when you screw it up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like saying, teach me how to eat. You already know how to eat. If you don't think about it, you're going to eat just fine. But the moment you want to learn how to eat, now you're going to become self-conscious and you're going to screw it up. The law of attraction is the only law that governs life. You cannot exist without the law of attraction. You cannot even drink a coffee without the law of attraction.
Mm-hmm.
But out of all of the, I believe there is roughly 8 components of the law of attraction: expectation, gestation, and so on and so forth, manifestation.
Mm-hmm.
There are 3 that are the most important of all. One is be clear about what you want. No wishy-washy.
Exactly.
Clear. You want the red Mustang? Stay with the red Mustang.
Mm-hmm.
2 is expectation. Do not say, please, I want the red Mustang. Is it going to come to me? I need it. I want it. I wish it. You're never going to get it. Because if you don't expect it, what that
Mm-hmm.
means is that you are not appreciating and understanding your creative powers. In other words, you're putting yourself outside of the creative powers. And the biggest mistake the movie The Secret made, which they tried to rectify later with
Mm-hmm.
the rest of The Secret,
Mm-hmm.
was that they told us at the beginning that there was a genie out there
Right.
telling us that it's going to deliver the red bicycle or the orange bicycle to us. No, you're your own genie.
Abso-frickin-lutely. Thank you.
You are the delivery person, and you are the creator of everything. So in other words, the genie took the power outside of us, when instead it's
Mm-hmm.
all, it comes from inside of you,
Thank
not
you.
outside.
Thank
So
you.
that's extremely important. But the most, if you ask me, Marco, what is the most important component of the law of attraction? Emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you feel it, it's already yours. When you feel it, you are materializing it. When you feel it, when your skin, when you get excited about that red Mustang, it's already yours.
Abso-frickin-lutely.
When you hear the noise of the engine, when you can smell the leather, it's already yours.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the most important components. I mean, think about it. If I say I want to go upstairs and fill up my coffee cup, right away my brain can smell the coffee just by thinking about it. I can, I'm going to say I'm going to burn my lips. Maybe it's going to be too hot. Well, I just materialize a cup of coffee, and then I got to go upstairs and fill it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's as simple as that. It works the same way, whether it's a cup of coffee, a Mustang, a house, a relationship, a happy
Mm-hmm.
relationship. So focus on what you want. Do not focus on what you don't want.
Yes. Yes, because then you get more of what you don't want.
If you want to stop wars, stop protesting wars, speak about peace.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Thank you. Yogesh, you were about to say something.
Well, yeah, when you mentioned that whether you think it is right or whether you think it is, wrong, and you had that example of two different sides, so it reminded me of me and my brother. So I grew up in Hong Kong. My elder brother grew up in India, and he grew up in a very violent environment
Right.
where there was a lot of fighting going on, and his perception of life is that you want something, you instill fear in people,
Right.
and if you don't get it, you beat them up. So his perception of life is like that. Now there was a point where we had a conflict because I'm opposite. I'm against violence, right? I don't like violence.
Well, you're
It makes
for
me,
peace. You're
yeah,
for
yeah.
peace.
I'm for peace, like Marco said. So, but at that point, I didn't understand him. But
Mm-hmm.
when I raised my vibration, when I started seeing things from his side, I realized that he grew up in that environment,
Right.
right? So his perception of life is different, and my perception of life is different. We look at things in a different way. We both can achieve the same thing. It's just that we look at it in a different way. And earlier, what Marco said about the feeling, and I completely agree with it, because when I was competing in the world championship, when I was really, really obsessed with being world champion, I remember visualizing and feeling it there announcing my name, and that was back in 2017 when I was really crazy for it. And it took me to top 30 speakers. But what I've realized is after that, I haven't been really visualizing it. I have been competing year after year, but I haven't getting into the feeling of it. I've just been like, okay, yeah, I want it, and I competed, but I'm not fully into it. So it really adds to, you know, what you really want, and you got to feel it and have it. I'll give you another example. In 2018, I went to my Rotary Club. This lady showed up, and I was talking about YouTube. She shows me a YouTube of her two sons with the president of Indonesia. And I said at that time, I wish I can meet these YouTubers and the president of Indonesia. A couple of months later, I'm speaking at an event in Indonesia, and I'm probably the only foreign workshop speaker. And the reason I got it was because I asked them, can I speak? You know, so I agree with the law of attraction, but you also have to add the action to it.
Of course.
100%.
You know, and you cannot have attachment to what you want. And what I realized was that the president was speaking that day. And here's the funny part. I missed his speech because I arrived slightly late and they closed the auditorium doors. But where I was standing was right outside his car. So he had to pass by that route. And when he passed by, I got my selfie moment with the president of Indonesia. So you see, I wasn't thinking about it, but it happened. And after he left, I walk into the auditorium, and those two YouTubers were right there.
I know. Yeah, I love
And I took a photo with them, and I'm like, I know your mom. And they're like, what do you mean by you know our mom? I'm like, no, I mean, I know her from the Rotary Club, you know?
Yeah.
You know, so you see, like, perception again, right? Yeah. I knew I wanted to meet the president of Indonesia. I didn't attach myself to it. And it happened. I created the reality.
Absolutely. Were y'all on when I interviewed Vakash a couple of weeks ago on Empowered Conversations?
No,
I wasn't.
Well, he tells a similar story of the same exact manifestation, but it was his mother. And
Wayne Dyer.
Wayne Dyer, thank you. Oh my God. I was like, gonna have a brain fart now. Wayne Dyer, his mother, had been following Wayne Dyer for years, and they were going to a performance, and it was his aunts, his mother's sisters, and him, and they were all going to this performance. And she's like, I want to meet Wayne Dyer. And his sisters were like, okay, let's create that for you. And so they just started envisioning her meeting him. They're like, you're meeting Wayne Dyer tomorrow. You're meeting Wayne Dyer tomorrow. He's bringing you up on stage. And damn, if she didn't go to the bathroom, and he was standing right there talking with a couple people right next to the women's bathroom. And she's like, and she, they embraced, they hugged, she was in tears. She told him about Vakash and his accident and being a paraplegic, and he was wiping her tears off her face, and doggone if he didn't bring her on stage. And then he brought Vakash on stage. Oh my, I'm getting cold chills. And, I manifested a similar experience at a Tony Robbins event. Mm-hmm. Like I have the utmost, respect for Tony Robbins and what he's been doing for the world for so many years. And I was, so it was like, there was this big conference or this speaking thing where there was like 10 speakers, and he was the keynote of the day at the end of the, the 3:00 speaker. And well, the first time I saw the tickets rotate on my feed, I was like, oh my God, Tony Robbins is going to be here. I click on it, and the least expensive ticket at that time was $495. And at that period of time, that was not something that I was willing to spend money on, invest. A couple weeks later, I'm laying in my bed. I'm going through my, it was in the morning, going through my feed, and one of my girlfriends posted the same link and was like, who wants to go? And I'm like, oh, I know I'm not able to at this point in time, but I'm like, I'm going to click on it anyway. I click on it, and now everything was buy one, get one free. The least expensive ticket was $149. And I'm like, I had an out of body experience. I'm like, well, I can do $79. I freaking reached out to her. I was like, girl, I'm going with you. Let's do this. I went on PayPal, bought both the tickets. She PayPal me her money. And it was just like, and the point was, I might have been in the nosebleed section, but I was going to be in the presence of somebody I held some of the greatest amount of respect for. So I was, elated to say the least. So day of, she wound up not being able to go because she had a babysitting issue. So one of my other girlfriends went, and we got there and we saw all the other speakers, Dean Graziosi, other really great people. And then of course Tony Robbins comes on in. And again, out of body experience for 3.5 hours. And there was a point in time where like he would go through the audience with these two big, huge white sticks, and he would bang them and high five people on the floor. And he kept going up to the other side of the auditorium. And this is like 2.5 hours in, y'all. And I swear I went, why is he not coming over here to our side of the stadium where we are? Y'all, I'm getting cold chills. Not even 15 seconds later, he's walking down the bleachers on the other side, walking across the stage, coming on this side of the stadium, and walks straight. And there's like 15,000 people, y'all. Walk straight up to me because I'm on the bottom bleacher, but there's like there's wall. Reaches his big white stick up to me, and I like shake it like we shook hands. And he's like, and he just smiles at me and shakes my hand in essence.
And he's 2 meters tall. Eh? He's like
Yeah,
7.5.
yeah, y'all.
Yeah, I met him several times. Yeah.
And that day, and it's like I play full out. Like I love Lisa Nichols. She says, "Are you playing full out today? Surround yourself with people who make you stand up on your tippy toes." And I know, I don't give a rat's ass what people think. I am Stephanie, and I just, and I know I'm not any more special or better than anybody else in that whole auditorium, but I know, I'm confident that how I was showing up brought the energy, and it brought him right over to specifically me, to engage with me and like show, hey, I see you. So, yeah.
You're the director of your experience.
Absolutely.
But not only that, my dear, again, I don't want to get too complicated now, but it appears that there is an unlimited number of events and everything else. When I say unlimited, I mean unlimited. There's no shortage of energy inside God, inside the universe.
Infinite, yeah.
And so you actually experiencing what you are creating moment by moment. You are directing, you're steering your way through an infinity of possibility, and you're calling the Tony Robbins that is going to come to you. And to you is going to appear as you are in that experience. But to everybody else, they're going to see the version that they expect.
Exactly.
I'll give you an example. Any given human being on the planet, let's say Jogesh, he has people who like him. He has people who like him less. He has people who really love him. There's people who do not even get along with him, perhaps. So how do you explain that? How do you explain that the same person appears in so many different ways to, let's say, 10 different people? Is the same person. So what's happening is each of these people around him attract the version of Jogesh that they think Jogesh is like. You see what I mean? And to them, he actually appears as such and he interacts as such. So whatever you expect, whatever you envision, you attract to you. It just works for everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because there could have been people in the audience that were like, oh, she's a plant. She's, and again, but then their reality is going to mirror that life is happening too. And there's always an underlying level of, bullshit that's really going on, that they're not the creators of their reality, that everything is happening outside, independent of them having, their intentionality over it.
I speak at, I counsel a lot of clients, an average 2 a day, both online and in person. The single most obstacle I find is that the vast majority of us are not aware that we create our own reality. We always expect or blame or give credit to some outside forces. whether it's a religious figure, whether
Mhm.
it's our preacher, whether it's our parents who did it to us, my husband
Right.
did it to me. We
Right.
don't realize that we are the creators of our reality. The moment you are able to explain it in certain ways, I've had people telling me, Marco, in 1 hour, I've learned more than 60 years of my life. I have people telling me,
No doubt.
Marco, everything I learned up to now, I had to throw it out of the window and I had to start all over again because it's all new perception. In other words, when you empower people and you are able to
Yes.
allow them to see how it works,
Mhm.
your life starts anew because all of a sudden it's no longer what they did to me and what they're doing to me. It's what I've been asking for and what I'm envisioning, what I've envisioned all my life, and this is why all these things happen to me, both good and bad. But the
Mhm.
moment you understand that you are at the steering wheel and you're not a passenger, everything changes for you. Everything changes for you because I can't wait to go out there and create my life now.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And it's almost like an epiphanic just boom, fish flop out of water.
Yeah.
One of my favorite memes is one day I got up, or one day I woke up and realized I didn't want to feel like that ever again. So I stopped just like that. And, everybody's on their own journey. Some realize it, some don't. But that's why we're here and we're out here speaking and showing people that they have the power. We all have the power. You have the power to
Totally.
create the most thriving, intensely exciting, amazing life. Yes, and you deserve it. You deserve it.
If that's what you want, if
Right.
that's
Yeah. Some
what
people
you
just
need.
want to want to
I mean, all versions of life are just as valid, depending on the
Yeah. Yes.
experience
That's yeah.
you want. But if you're
Right.
not happy with your life and you want to do better, just understand that you have the steering wheel. All you got to do is take charge, stop blaming, and give credit to outside forces. I am doing this to myself, good or bad. Okay, what am I going to do about it? You
Right.
have the tools.
Hmm.
You the only tool you need is your intention. Your understanding that you are part of the creator, not outside of the creator. You're
Thank
part
you.
of creation. You hence inherently, and the interesting thing is it's not even optional.
Hmm.
It's not that you say, I don't want to be a creator. I don't want to be part of it. You can't. So I've given this example 1,000 times, but it's so effective that it bears repeating. I envision, to make this is simple to understand, envision the ocean.
Mm.
If the ocean is the universe
Mhm.
slash creator slash God slash all that is, and the universe is basically composed of a trillion zillion droplets of water. So the assemblage of all these droplets of water make the ocean.
Mhm.
It's a power that is greater than the sum of all the droplets together, because together the ocean assumes powers that are more than just the droplets of water. But suppose you are an individual droplet of water, each one of us, inside the ocean. And we've been given free will
Mhm.
to roam inside the ocean as you wish and do whatever you want. So, as a droplet of water, you realize that you're free to swim inside the ocean, and you realize that the strength and the power of the ocean is behind you to assist you with anything you want. And you also understand that you're tied to every other droplet of water inherently, not optional.
Right.
And then you spend all your life looking for the ocean.
Exactly. Yeah.
Where is
Mhm.
God? Where is the creator? Who made me? We don't
Why am
realize
I here?
we're already inside the ocean and we're already made of the same thing.
Thank you.
And whether we like it or not, you just cannot get out of it.
Mhm.
So you might as well understand that you are inside God. And you're not God, of course, but you are God. You are a
I
mini.
abso-freaking-lutely.
You
Yeah,
are
yeah.
a
I believe that
mini God.
everything is. We are
I
all.
cannot
Everything is
change
God.
the universe, but
Mhm.
I can put a little pebble there, but I
Create a
can
ripple effect.
definitely change my life because I have all this power. And the moment you believe it and the moment you use it, it just amplifies. It just amplifies.
Mhm.
and it can go either way. You whatever you expect, good or bad, it just
Mm-hmm.
God always says yes. Okay, is that what you want, Marco? Okay, let me give you more of the same. It's just that.
Right.
It's simple as
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and I apologize. My tip of my nose keeps itching. I'm like, ah. So Marco, I was a biology major.
Mhm,
I know you've heard this story, Yogesh. And I was, I'm pretty sure it was organic chemistry class
mhm.
that I was in one day, and I was, gazing up at the periodic table, and it hit me. I was like, everything that exists, which exists, is all just different conglomerations of atoms from the periodic table. Hence,
Right.
everything is one. Everything is of itself. All is of itself, and everything is one. We're not separate from the wavelengths that are creating this broadcast, or from one another, or from my cell phone, or from the plastic that makes up my laptop, or from my cat salmon. Everything is all it's a vibrating. And what's crazy, Marco, is because you said it earlier about vibrating at a different frequency. I
Mhm,
was thinking about that this morning, and thinking about that periodic table example, that I
mhm.
had this epiphany about, that everything is of itself. All is one God, universe, energy. There's nothing separate from anything else.
The way I explain it is being in biology, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. If you start from anything at all, whether it's a pen,
Hmm.
flesh, air, water, whatever you want, at the physical level, when we observe them under the microscope, they have a different structural, they appear differently. But once we start zooming in, you lose all the outside properties and you end up with atoms.
Hmm.
And the truth of the matter is, regardless how much you try in finding a different atom, you're never going to find it. Electron, proton, and neutron, it doesn't matter. The atom comes from this pen, from
Hmm.
your skin,
Yep.
from your mouth, from the food you eat. An atom is an atom is an atom.
Hmm.
And these atoms are constantly interchanging with each other.
Hmm.
So if I go like this, I put 2 billion atoms in the air. We breathe them in, we eat them, they fly, they join somebody else in China, falls in their food. Now they're part of my set of atoms. But when we look inside the atom, this is where things get interesting. Up to the atomic scale, we can tell that, okay, this, just before you get to the atom, you can tell, okay, this came from a pen, this came from a piece of skin, and so on and so forth. But once you go past the atom,
Hmm.
everything looks the same. You find quarks, neutrinos, up and downs, and so on and so forth. And you end up, and our scientists have just recently realized, wait a minute, why is it no matter where we start from,
Hmm.
we end up with light? We end up with light. Once
Oh,
you go
chills.
past the atom and deeper and deeper and deeper, you end up with light, the same type of light,
Hmm.
photons and then light.
Hmm.
So think about it. If you reverse the process, start with light, decelerate it, and you get things.
Hmm.
Get
Yeah.
bodies and cars and pens and
Labels, what we label.
exactly. So everything is light. So this is
Hmm.
why we're all part of this sea of light, whether
Yeah.
we like it or not. See, this is when I say it's not optional. So becoming aware of it and learning to use it for the good of your advantage and other people, it is essential. So when you understand you're made of light, in other words, in simple English, you're made of God.
Hmm. Absolutely.
So
Hmm.
watch what you speak and
Hmm.
what you think, because everything you think and speak, you are creating it.
Absolutely.
Watch your I ams. We say this a thousand
Hmm.
times. Watch your words. You so again, Jogesh heard this before. Some scientist figured out, they actually counted how many times in a day, in any given day, we say the words I am.
Hmm.
So we say the words I am on average between 2,500 to $3,000 to 3,000.
Money, 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 money.
We say it between 2,500 and 3,000 times per day. That blew my mind, because if I had guessed 50 times, but in reality, we say it or think these words 2,500 minimum per day. So then I stopped and thought, I said, wait a minute, this cannot be a coincidence. Why is this I am so, it's used so often? So I ask my higher realms, and the answer was, I am is actually the driving force that tells your physical projection what it's going to give you the next moment and the next moment and the next moment. So it's like I am, you are, when you really think about it, now that you're aware of this, when you really think about it, if you pay attention, you are constantly formulating I am's sentences, both verbally and mentally. And that is exactly what your physical counterpart needs to know in order to give you your next moment and the next moment. So right now, my brain, unknown to me, is formulating a series of I am sitting, I am speaking, I am having coffee, I am, I am, I am, I am, I am. So those are the coordinates. My physical body needs to know what to do next. Now, of course, the IMs work at the now moment, at tomorrow, next day, next week, next year. So next year, I am moving to New York. Next year, I am moving to New York. And I keep in saying that, well, eventually you're going to move to New York. But if you change your minds and next year I'm moving to Toronto, possibly you're not going anywhere. That's why you got to keep your...
You might wind up in Indonesia hanging out with Yogesh.
So being aware of this mechanism is truly life-changing, because by controlling your IMs and by being aware and replacing the bad IMs with good ones, you know, I am getting sick, I am getting cancer, I think I'm getting cancer, I think I'm getting a flu, I think I'm getting COVID.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think your physical counterpart is going to give you? If you are asking for it, what do you think you're going to get? You're literally declaring it into existence for whatever reason. No one is doing it to you. You are calling on to yourself. I'm losing weight. I'm gaining weight. I'm getting healthy. I'm getting sick. I'm getting rich. I'm getting poor. I think I'm gonna lose my relationship. I think my husband is gonna leave you. I think. Well, what do you think you're gonna get? You are creating into your life experience. So all you need to do is change the wording.
And go ahead, Yogesh.
You know, coming back to the topic of perception, right? Again, I usually catch myself when I say I am something, but in my mind I am saying something else, right? Like I know I want to sign up for something, and then I'm going, yeah, I'm going to do this, but my mind is like, wait, you don't have that much cash on you right now, right? So it's not aligned. So you have to be very careful what perception you have, you know, inside as well, not just what perception you're putting out there, right? It all has to be in alignment in order for you to manifest what you want to manifest. Bob Proctor said it best when he said, change your perception, change your reality. You know, and I always listen to his talks, and he was so right about it, right? Even someone like Vishen Lakhiani, who used to be a yoga teacher, he used to fly down, earn maybe $4,000 or $5,000 a weekend, flying all across from Asia to US to teach meditation. And he came across Bob Proctor, and Bob Proctor said to him, Vishen, you got to dream bigger. You know, and he changed his perception, because at first Vishen was not willing to accept it because his perception was $5,000 is a lot. Right. But he changed his perception in his mind. He's like, wait a minute. That I'm worth way more than that. It changed internally first.
Absolutely.
And then he projected it, and that's when Mind Valley really took off.
Yeah, love Mind Valley.
You know, it was 2 years after he spoke to Bob that he stopped teaching meditation. And it was 2 years later when he spoke again on stage. That was for one of their events called A Fest. So you see, once you change that perception, and it has to come from inside, not from outside. You have to change that perception from inside. Everything else outside begins to change.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A Fest is on my vision board in my room. I will be a speaker. I am a speaker on the stage at A Fest, one of the A Fests.
And like Marco said, I am, right? So I made a vision board in 2021, and I just had like 9 photos on it. I wanted to be very clear what I wanted. So I put, I am health, I am money, I am peace, I am many different things. But on one of them, I put, I am rejuvenated, and I put a photo of Arizona, and I wrote there retreat.
Yep, yep, yep.
You
Hmm.
see, so when the option came up to join this retreat, I said, well, I manifested it,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah,
had no doubt about it.
yeah. And y'all know, originally I thought we were all getting together going on a camping trip until that very first Zoom call, and I realized, oh, I'm a speaker at this retreat. And like I had been putting out to the universe as well, being a speaker, being, engaging, empowering. It's not about just me doing something, it's the impact I'm able to make in the lives of others, what they're receiving through my sharing my heart and my mind. And I've been envisioning that and what that feels like and how that feels like for others. And here I am on a Zoom call, and I'm a speaker at, talking about health and wellness and mindset at this amazing retreat.
Oh, Jesus, I had my comments shut down for us. I just noticed I was asking, why is nobody commenting?
Oh, we've had a lot of comments, guys.
Okay.
Yes, we've got Jeff says sometimes it is amazing what prayers are answered. Sounds like someone is. Oh, well, that was earlier. Grace will say hiya, and then Christina's on. She says, "Hey, my beautiful friends," and Jeff says, "Papa, can you hear me?" And John Corbellini was on. He's like, "Hey, everyone, what's up?" And Christina says something. I love how he explained that, McPherson. Thank you. Let's see. Priscilla, listening to Marco makes me think of God. Be specific what you pray for. 2 books that come to mind are Hung by the Tongue and The Tongue, A Creative Force. Our words can give us life or death. God bless and take care. She's so sweet. I know her from my gym. She's just so
Thank you.
sweet. I
Thank
love
you
you,
so much.
Priscilla. Thank you for being on. Tree of Life, Christina, our personal perception makes a difference on how fast we receive this, if at all. Excellent interview. Fernando, greetings to y'all. Fernando, Grace, Christina, all and John, all are going to be speakers at our retreat. And we have Christy Hildress, who's a good friend of mine. Thank you, everyone. I really needed this today. Y'all couldn't have explained it any better. Thank you for
you
being
guys.
on, Christy. Well, guys, we have just a couple more minutes left for our Community Empowerment Hour. Any last words that you'd like to share? Marco, I'll start with you, a couple minutes, and then go to Yogesh.
The most far-reaching change that I experienced in my life, which I really want to share, and it is so important to me that we understand that the consequences, both good and bad, is the shifting of perception, since we're on topic, or of where we are calling from. In other words, several years back, and it took me 20 years to be able to achieve this. I was able to finally change my perspective of how I see my creation, instead of them from the bottom up. In other words, I am a human being down here experiencing what my soul, perhaps if I even have a soul, I used to think, up there wants me to experience. And so I saw myself as the consequence and the victim, in a way, of what my soul wanted me to experience, and the higher realms. 6-7 years ago, I was able to shift my perspective. So now I see myself as the soul. I am me, the soul, talking to you through my body. And my body is experiencing what me, the soul, wants to experience, and many, many other bodies in all the different frequencies. So when you think of yourself as the immortal soul, and the body simply as a vehicle to exist in any given level, it's just a car. It's simply a car. That's all it is. Everything changes because you take on power instead of then who's doing this to me. I am doing this to me based on what I want to experience. And because of that, I can change it anytime I want. That was really what changed my life. And if I'm able to put this across the way I intend to, this has the potential, as I've seen many times, to truly change 50 years of life in 1 hour. You will be a totally different person when you accept this. In other words, take responsibility and also credit. You are the maker of it all. You're the main actor of your movie, but most important, the director of your movie. Nothing is
Yes.
written in stone. The movie script is rough outlines. It's like, okay, you made a movie as a soul. It's like, this is what I want. I want to be born in Italy, such and such parents, but it's not cast in stone. It's written on paper. You can change it as you go. In other words, the movie is not unchangeable. It's not that once you write what you call destiny or karma, whatever you want to call it, it's done. No, the creation goes on moment by moment. It's not cast in stone. So if you don't like the first 50 years of creation that you created for yourself as a soul, change it. Nothing has changed. Simply change it, divert the movie, make it different, make it more exciting, make whatever it is. If you were born unhealthy and the first 40 years of life you've been dealing with health issues, it's not cast in stone. It's simply change the movie and say, okay, from now on I'm going to be healthy. It's going to take a little bit of time because things here have a delay buffer. Like we said before, the cat doesn't drop on your head, right? So things here take a little bit of time, but you will get healthy if you change the script.
Absolutely. And Yogesh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, the part where Marco says sometimes it takes a little bit of time, right? So I'm just going to quickly go through my story. I wanted to move to Canada 20 plus years ago. That didn't work out. I got into the family business. I came to Indonesia. I wanted to move here in 1998. That didn't work out. I ended up going to Dubai, came back to Hong Kong, and then 2017, I moved here. And a result of moving here, I compete every year in the contest. I won the contest. That particular year, the contest was in Canada, and I got to visit Canada, and I got to settle in Indonesia, which I wanted to do 20 years ago. So you see that one decision to move aligned and put everything in perspective. And again, when I was in Indonesia, I kept asking myself, what am I doing here? I don't even know the language, right? But eventually 2020 came. We came on this online platform where I met Marco and everybody else. And just before that, I wrote a chapter in a book with John Spender. I don't know if you know him. And through him, I came to this platform. And from there, I met everybody. And now I'm going to the retreat. So everything is aligning. Right? It's just taking longer than I thought it would take, but it is leading to where I want to go.
Absolutely.
And the whole thing about changing perception, I just want to mention back in 2020, November, I got COVID. And it's really interesting. There was this one night where every night I would be drenched in sweat. And before that, I would be shivering. And I'd be like, I came to this one state where my mind was fully negative. And I was like, why am I alive? I'm not impacting people. And then I could feel my soul elevating from my body because I was in a very negative state. I was like, my daughter's 16. She can handle herself. My wife, she's a strong woman. I wasn't thinking straight. My perception was I'm not important. And at that point, suddenly I had this thought about my son, and he's just like 9, 10, right? And then I'm like, wait a minute, you're not thinking straight. I switched my perception, and in that moment, I felt I was back in my body. And in that moment, from that week onwards, I started improving.
No doubt.
So, so the change in perception is so important. And like Marco said it, right? If 50 years of your life, you've had this perception that you're unhealthy, you're this, it can just switch.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And I'm a living example of that. I was almost out of my body and I just switched that perception right there and then. So that's all I had to add.
Love it. And I'm just going to end with this, and this is one of my favorite, realizations that I came to conclusion is if anything is possible for anyone, anything is possible for anyone. But again, it boils down to perception. And, we exist in a collective paradigm. We exist in a local paradigm, but more importantly, we exist in the paradigm of our own thoughts, of our own life. And if you want something more, bigger, better, more grand, more pleasing, brings more happiness and joy, you have to shift. Like I work a lot with my subconscious mind. I am constantly like I do these daily, kaleidoscope meditations through Joe Dispenza. I am because anything that it could be unconscious, a program that's running that's potentially creating some form of reality that's I feel is unfavorable. I'm like, let's risk reprogram that because I'm trying to shift the paradigm of whatever I'm consciously creating so I can then realize that more of what I desire. But again, it's about being intentional. I'm an intentional creator. I'm intentionally like I could say, I like right now I could say I am a multi-millionaire 100 times over. In this very second that I say that, that's not true. But that doesn't mean that somebody ain't go, you know what? I really would like Stephanie to be a millionaire. I am going to write her a check and send that in the mail. And then on Saturday I receive a check. Holy shit, y'all, I'm a millionaire. You know
You,
what I'm saying?
you are planting the seed.
Planting seeds.
And
Yes.
if you keep in doing that
Marco,
and put water on the seed, eventually it will come out as a flower.
Thank you. And that's what I talk about when I talk about planting seeds of what I feel is possible. Maybe not in my lifetime, but I am here to plant seeds of what I do think is possible. Like, in pro peace, absence. Okay, we have to use the word absence of war as just as a paradigm of existence. I do believe that it is possible to exist on this planet, in this universe, without the need for armies and war, and that collectively our leaders collectively all talk like what we're talking. Like I might disagree with something you say, Marco, and you might disagree with something Yogesh says, but you're not going to want to go kill him. I don't want to come and hurt you because you don't believe like me. I do believe that, that the paradigm could shift to a level in which we have leaders that are in a trance of abundance and not a trance of scarcity, and that can be an existence. Oh, Stephanie, and then you have, oh, Stephanie, that's, you're in this pie in the sky. No, if you can think it, for anything that's ever been in physical existence first was thought of in the mind. If you can think it and believe it, it can become reality. That's what I'm sticking to.
It's all about learning. All about learning. Try to think of the same thing you just said from a higher perspective. There will be one day, mark my words, there will be one day you're going to thank Putin for starting a war. This teaches, these are experiences we as a whole need to grow out of wars. How you gonna know how to stop wars if you don't experience wars? Did you notice how our reaction to the ongoing war this time around was much more spiritual, much more together? We blew up all at once. Like everyone is like, boom. So this war cannot continue. This war is going to end. This is what's going to make us understand the ugliness of our ugly side. In other words, God is trying to understand itself. And it does so by experiencing the full gamut from really ugly to really good. It cannot learn itself if it only experiences really good. It needs the full gamut to truly know itself. I want to end this with, if you need motivation, please go on YouTube and type these words. Torso man.
Torso man.
Just type these words, look up a couple of videos by Torso Man, and you're going to get all the motivation you need.
Love it. Love it. I've never heard of Torso Man. I'm totally doing that.
I will let you discover it. Just watch a 10-minute video by Torso Man, and you all of a sudden, everything is going to change for you.
Guys, thank you so much for being a part of this today. I'm so glad that we have done this. Guys, we're going to be doing this once a week, right? not the same people. We're going to have other people who are co-hosting the retreat as well, and we have other topics. We have a weekly topic, and we're going to be going live, and it's going to be phenomenal, guys. This is where you're going to learn what everybody's about, and hopefully, elatedly excites you to be like, "Oh, I want to be a part of that retreat." Even if I can't be there in person. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Yogesh, you were fabulous. Marco, you were wonderful. Thank you for joining the Community Empowerment Hour. Bye, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.